Hello and welcome to Learn and Talk English. I'm your host, Maria, and I'm thrilled to have you join me for today's episode. Whether you're listening while commuting, exercising, or just relaxing at home, I want you to know that you're taking an important step in your English learning journey. Today, we're focusing on something that many of you have requested: professional English conversations. If you've ever felt nervous before a job interview in English, struggled to express your ideas clearly during a meeting, or simply want to sound more confident when speaking with colleagues, this episode is for you. Professional English isn't just about knowing business vocabulary. It's about understanding the cultural expectations, the unwritten rules, and the natural flow of workplace conversations. By the end of our time together, you'll have practical phrases and strategies that you can start using immediately. As always, I encourage you to speak along with our examples. Don't worry about making mistakes. That's part of the learning process. The more you practice, the more natural these conversations will feel. So, are you ready to improve your professional English speaking skills? Let's get started. Before we dive into our scenarios, let's build some essential vocabulary for professional settings. I'll introduce each term or phrase, explain what it means, and give you an example of how to use it. First, let's talk about some common phrases you might hear in a workplace. To touch base. This means to briefly make or renew contact with someone. For example, let's touch base next week to discuss our progress on the project. To be on the same page, this means everyone has the same understanding or information. For example, before we continue, I want to make sure we're all on the same page regarding the deadline. To think outside the box. This means to think creatively or differently. For example, this problem requires us to think outside the box. To follow up. This means to continue an action or pursue something further. For example, I'll follow up with an email summarizing our discussion. To take the initiative. This means to be the first to take action. For example, I was impressed that you took the initiative to solve that customer issue. Now, let's look at some terms specifically related to job interviews. Qualifications. Your skills, experience, and education that make you suitable for a job. Strengths and weaknesses, positive qualities and areas for improvement. Track record. Your history of achievements or performance. Team player. Someone who works well with others. Problem-solving skills. Your ability to find solutions to difficulties. And finally, some vocabulary for meetings. Agenda. A list of items to be discussed. Minutes. The written record of what was discussed and decided. Action items. Specific tasks assigned during a meeting. To table a discussion. To postpone discussing a topic. To wrap up. To conclude or finish something. Let's practice pronouncing these terms together. I'll say each one and then leave a moment for you to repeat after me. To touch base. To be on the same page. To think outside the box. To follow up. To take the initiative. Great job! Remember, using these phrases naturally in conversation will make you sound more fluent and professional. Now, let's move on to our first scenario. Job interviews can be stressful even in your native language, so it's natural to feel nervous about interviewing in English. Let's listen to a conversation between an interviewer and a candidate for a marketing position. Pay attention to how the candidate structures their answers and the professional language they use. Interviewer. Good morning. Thanks for coming in today. Could you start by telling me a little about yourself and your experience in marketing? Candidate. Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to interview for this position. I've been working in digital marketing for about 5 years now. I started as a social media coordinator at ABC Company, where I managed their Facebook and Instagram accounts. After 2 years, I moved to XYZ Agency as a marketing specialist, where I've been developing and implementing comprehensive marketing strategies for various clients. I have a bachelor's degree in marketing, and I recently completed a certification in advanced SEO techniques. Interviewer. That's impressive. What would you say is your greatest strength as a marketing professional? Candidate. I believe my greatest strength is my ability to analyze data and use those insights to improve campaign performance. For example, at my current position, I noticed that our email campaigns had a declining open rate. By analyzing the data, I discovered that our subject lines weren't engaging enough. I tested different approaches and managed to increase our open rates by 25% over 3 months. I enjoy finding the story behind the numbers and using that to drive better results. Interviewer. And what about a weakness? We all have areas where we can improve. Candidate. That's a great question. I would say that I sometimes get too focused on perfecting details, which can impact my efficiency. I've recognized this tendency, so now I set specific time limits for tasks and use project management tools to keep myself on track. I'm learning to balance quality with efficiency, and I've seen improvement in my productivity over the past year. Interviewer. How do you handle tight deadlines or pressure? Candidate. I actually work well under pressure. I find that a deadline helps me focus and prioritize effectively. When facing tight deadlines, I first break the project down into manageable tasks and create a timeline working backward from the due date. I communicate clearly with team members about expectations and check in regularly on progress. Last quarter, our team had to prepare a major client presentation with only 3 days' notice. By staying organized and focused, we delivered a successful site presentation that ultimately won us a contract renewal. Let's pause and analyze this conversation. Did you notice how the candidate 1. Gave specific examples to support their claims. 2. Used professional vocabulary like implementing, comprehensive strategies, and analyzing data. 3. Structured their answers with a clear beginning, middle, and end. 4. Turned a question about weakness into an opportunity to show self-awareness and improvement. 5. Demonstrated their value with measurable results like increase our open rates by 25%. These techniques make responses sound thoughtful and professional. Now let's continue with the interview. Interviewer. Tell me about a time when you had to work as part of a team to solve a problem. Candidate. Last year, our agency noticed we were losing potential clients during the proposal stage. I collaborated with colleagues from sales, design, and content to identify the issue. We met weekly for a month, with each person bringing insights from their area of expertise. The sales team shared feedback they'd received from prospects. The design team analyzed our visual presentation, and I examined our messaging strategy. Together, we completely redesigned our proposal template and process. As a result, our conversion rate improved by 30% in the following quarter. This experience reinforced for me the value of bringing diverse perspectives together to solve problems. Interviewer. That's a great example. Do you have any questions for me about the position or company? Candidate. Yes. I'd like to know more about the team I'd be working with. Could you tell me about the structure of the marketing department and how this role collaborates with other teams? The candidate ended with a thoughtful question that shows interest in the company and the collaborative aspects of the role. This is always a good strategy in interviews. Now, let's practice responding to a common interview question. I'll ask the question, and then give you time to formulate your answer. Try to use some of the techniques and vocabulary we've discussed. What makes you interested in working for our company? Great! Remember to mention specific things about the company that appeal to you, such as their values, products, or reputation. This shows you've done your research and are genuinely interested in the position. Now it's time for some speaking practice. I'll give you a job interview question and then leave a pause for you to answer out loud. Try to speak for about 30 to 45 seconds for each response. Ready? Question number 1. Tell me about a challenging project you worked on and how you handled it. Question number 2. Where do you see yourself professionally in 5 years? Question number 3. Why should we hire you for this position? Excellent work. Remember, practicing out loud is crucial for improving your speaking skills. If possible, record yourself and listen back to identify areas for improvement. Now let's move on to our second scenario. Scenario 2, Team Meeting Participation. Our second scenario focuses on participating effectively in team meetings. Many English learners find meetings challenging because they happen in real time and often involve multiple speakers. Let's listen. to a team meeting discussion and notice the language used to express ideas, agree, disagree, and make suggestions. Manager. Good morning, everyone. Today we need to discuss the launch timeline for the new product. Marketing has suggested we delay by 2 weeks to better align with the industry conference. What are your thoughts on this? Team. Member 1. I can see the benefits of launching during the conference. It would give us more visibility. However, I'm concerned about the delay affecting our quarterly targets. Have we considered the financial implications? Team Member 2. That's a good point. While I agree that the conference timing is ideal for publicity, I think we need to weigh that against the potential revenue loss from delaying. Perhaps we could still maintain our original launch date, but create a special promotion for the conference? Team CEO. Member 3. If I may add something, our customer research indicates that our target audience will be particularly receptive to this product during the conference period. In my opinion, the short-term delay would be offset by stronger initial sales. Manager. These are all valid perspectives. What about the development team? Are there any technical concerns with either timeline? Team Member 4. From a technical standpoint, the extra 2 weeks would actually be beneficial. It would give us time to run additional quality assurance tests. That said, we could still meet the original deadline if necessary. Manager. Thank you all for your input. Based on what I'm hearing, it seems like the delay might offer more advantages than disadvantages. Let's take a vote and then finalize the high decision. Let's analyze the language used in this meeting for expressing opinions. I can see the benefits of I'm concerned about, in my opinion, for agreeing. That's a good point. I agree that. For partially disagreeing. While I agree that I think. That said, for making suggestions, have we considered? Perhaps we could. It would give us time to. For adding to the discussion, if I may add something. What about? These phrases help you participate effectively while maintaining a professional and respectful tone. Notice how even when team members disagreed, they acknowledged others' points first. Now let's continue with another part of the meeting. Manager. Now that we've decided on the launch date, let's discuss the marketing campaign. Sarah, can you give us an update? Sarah. Certainly. We've developed 3 potential approaches for the campaign. The first focuses on the product's innovative features, the second on customer testimonials, and the third on competitive pricing. Based on our previous campaigns, the feature-focused approach typically performs best with our audience. However, I'd welcome your thoughts on which direction we should take. Team Member 1. Thanks for the overview, Sarah. I'm leaning toward the feature-focused approach as well, especially given the unique selling points of this product. Have we tested these concepts with any focus groups? Sarah. Not yet, but that's scheduled for next week. Team Member 3. I'd like to suggest a combination approach. What if we highlight the innovative features but support those claims with customer testimonials? That way, we're not just telling customers it's great. We're showing them that others agree. Team Member 2. I see where you're coming from, and I think that could work. My only concern is that it might dilute our main message. If we try to do too much, we might confuse customers about our primary value proposition. Sarah. That's a fair concern. Perhaps we could use the features as our main campaign focus, but incorporate testimonials on our website and in longer-form content? Manager. I like that compromise. It addresses both perspectives. Let's proceed with the feature-focused approach for the main campaign, with testimonials as supporting elements. Sarah, can you prepare a more detailed plan for our next meeting? Sarah. Absolutely. I'll have that ready by Friday. In this part of the meeting, we saw Number 1. How to present options to a group. Number 2. Ways to build on someone else's idea. Number 3. How to express concern respectfully. Number 4. Techniques for finding compromise. These skills are essential for effective meeting participation. Now let's practice some of these phrases. Repeat after me. I see your point, but have we considered? I agree with what you're saying about. Building on that idea, what if we? My concern with that approach is perhaps we could compromise by excellent. These phrases will help you contribute confidently in your next meeting. Listener challenge now. It's time for your listener challenge. This week, I want you to practice your professional English speaking skills with these 3 activities. First, prepare and practice answers to 3 common job interview questions. Choose from, what are your greatest strengths and weaknesses? Why? Are you interested in this position? Tell me about a time you overcame a challenge. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Record yourself answering these questions, then listen back. Pay attention to your pacing, clarity, and use of professional vocabulary. Second, practice expressing your opinion on a work-related topic. Choose a topic like the best way to give feedback to colleagues, whether remote work is more productive than office work, how to effectively manage work-life balance, the importance of continuous learning in your field speak for at least 1 minute, making sure to structure your thoughts with an introduction, main points, and conclusion. Third, find a speaking partner. This could be a friend, colleague, or language exchange partner. Role-play a team meeting where you need to discuss a TIA, project challenge, and reach a decision. Take turns leading the discussion and practice using the meeting phrases we covered today. Remember, consistent practice is key to improving your speaking skills. Even 10 to 15 minutes of focused practice each day will lead to significant improvement over time. I'd love to hear about your experience with these challenges. You can share your progress in the comments section below this episode or on our social media channels. We've covered a lot of ground today. We explored professional vocabulary, practiced job interview responses, and learned effective strategies for participating in team meetings. Remember, professional English is about more than just vocabulary. It's about understanding the cultural context and expectations in workplace communication. The phrases and strategies we discussed today will help you navigate these situations with greater confidence. In our next episode, we'll focus on another important aspect of professional English: writing effective emails and messages. We'll cover everything from formal email structure to common phrases and the appropriate level of formality for different situations. Until then, I encourage you to practice what we've learned today. The more you use these phrases and techniques, the more natural they'll become. Thank you for joining me on Learn and Talk English. I'm Maria, wishing you success in all your English speaking endeavors. Keep practicing, keep improving, and I'll see you next time.